Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel Anaka Design. Thank you so much for being here. If you're brand new, welcome. If you've been here since the the beginning, thank you for sticking around. There have been a number of new subscribers, and I want to say a special shout out to you. I hope that you find here what you're looking for. Anyway, with January almost 3/4 done, I figured it was time to get back to you and show you what I have finally decided to do with my junk journal vision board. Now, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, it was an idea that Carrie, the paper monkey, came up with at some point in 2023. And I thought it was brilliant, so I jumped on the bandwagon. Now, essentially, I think most people know that a vision board is a way to sort of, through imagery, make our desires, goals, wishes, not manifest, because obviously that takes work and lucky breaks and connections and so on. But basically, it's a way to tell the universe that, yes, this is what I'm aiming for. And any help you can provide would be appreciated. And it tends to be, it could be anything. It could be on a bulletin board. It could be on a piece of mat board. What Carrie and I and others did last year was use calendar pages. And I've shown the months that I use that, and so has she. You should, by the way, go to her channel and subscribe. She has a lot of interesting content, and you're not going to find anyone who's more enthusiastic and generous in her desire to promote other crafters, other YouTubers. She has a place in my heart forever. Anyway, without having spoken to each other, when 2024 rolled around, each of us in our own little orbit here, me in Alberta, Canada, her in Louisiana, decided that this year we would move our junk journal vision board into a book format. And I did a video showing that this was the book I had chosen. I had already altered it, and that's a whole other process, and I should do a video on that from start to finish. I said I would probably cover this up because it's a wee bit violent. I liked it. It's a foreign language. Like, couldn't they have put these people on the cover? It's a foreign language book, and basically what I had done, I think in front of you, was obviously I had removed pages, I had glued others together, and I showed you that in the beginning of the book, I had gessoed some pages in preparation for using it in some way. Anyway, this was the book I decided to use. But because I had been away for a while and, you know, things, I was playing catch up, I didn't know exactly how I was going to do this. So recently I was in a hotel room and it finally came to me. I've long been a believer in the power of mind maps. And the first time I ever saw a mind map, I was at a conference. I was sitting next to a woman, and she had what looked like hieroglyphics in her notebook. And it was intriguing. so I asked her, like, what is it? What are you doing? And she said it was a mind map. So, of course, if you Google that, you'll see all kinds of examples and so on, and they can be beautiful, they can be quick and dirty, they can be whatever you choose to make them. So the other day I had my sort of brainstorming book with me, and I had a blank piece of paper, and this is essentially what I came up with. I was limited. I had a pencil and a pen, so it's not exactly a thing of beauty, but I thought, hey, that is the idea I'm going to use for this book for January. So what I did last night was I just assembled some very basic supplies. This is Pelican, but it's just a watercolor set. I picked this brush. I changed my water just for you guys. And hopefully you haven't forgotten my tip about using a roll of toilet paper as the cheapest and most convenient way to dab your brush, dry your brush in between color changes and so on. So for a very little outlay in supplies, it doesn't need to be an artist quality brush. It doesn't need to, and this is a good quality set. I do have others. I do have professional quality as well. But again, this is just a tool. So use whatever you have if you choose to go this route. So because I had already prepped some pages with gesso, and I do have to do the rest of the book, I was able to translate what I had done on paper to, to this book. I didn't want to start here, so I started on the next page. Now, I'm not going to, leave this on screen for long because, frankly, some of those things are for my eyes only. But I do want to show you that it could be a planning tool, and it could also be a very pretty thing. So basically what I did was I did my center thing, which is kind of the origin of a mind map. I had 6 categories, so digitals, collaborations, YouTube, journals, sales, and organizing. Chose a different color for each, and that adds a level of usability to what I had done here. The more color you can use, the more ways of actually compartmentalizing things, the better. And so I began doing some things. So let's just look at digitals. So digitals are obviously a thing that I want to get better at. I want to improve my or increase my my offering, and I want to use more of my own in my own work. So digitals. So that's a bigger category, and you can see that there's this line that connects it to the base thing, which is basically my online identity. And from there are these offshoots. So it begins with scanning, and then of course putting them into kits and uploading them. And then I have here coffee freebie, because I've just started a coffee page, and freebies are a way to drive traffic. And then I just added a few more splotches so that I can continue to add things if I want. Now, this is not, this is not 1 month's worth of effort or goals. it's ongoing. It can serve me for the whole year. And just because there seems to be a lot on here doesn't mean that I'm taking a shotgun approach to doing things. It just means that some of these things, these smaller offshoots, are ways to make the bigger thing happen. Okay, let's do another one. Collaborations. Well, I want to do a journal swap with somebody, but of course that means, hand picking a partner. I added a few more swatches there as well because there are probably other less labor intensive collaborations that can be done. Show you another one, YouTube. So of course, the the perpetual thing, increase subscribers, do daily videos, which it seems that I am doing. I want to have a slush pile of at least 10 that are scheduled so that if something happens or if I'm away, the beat goes on. And this one I added late, which was monetized. So, there's a threshold after you reach so many subscribers, then you begin getting some revenue. Organizing, sales, and journals. So maybe I should have thought about a piece. I'll go a step further. Sorry, I should have thought of this before. Here's just a plain piece of paper, and I'll do a very basic demo on doing a mind map. Oh, I should say all of my chisel point pens had kind of dried up over the years, so I invested in a new set. This brand is called Elegant Writer, and these are all 2.0 millimeters, and that allowed me to do kind of what almost looks like calligraphy. And then for the smaller spaces, I just used an ordinary black pen. Okay, so suppose, maybe I'll use a pencil. I think typically people, would use it in this landscape format. Again, the more color you can bring into this, the better, but this is just a quick and dirty demo. So let's just make something here in the middle, and let's pretend that we want to talk about maybe studio space. So depending on your situation, that could mean just about anything. If you don't have a space, then the first thing would maybe be acquire space. And then from there you think, well, okay, how could I do that? So maybe it's a spare bedroom. Maybe it's, a walk-in closet. Maybe it's one of those things, I don't know what the brand name or anything is, but if you've ever watched Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, it's a sort of, let's call it a self-contained furniture piece. So because it was in her living room, I think that was before they moved, she was able to close it all up. It looked like a piece of furniture. But so that would only apply to you if that's the state you're at, where you don't have a dedicated space. But maybe for the rest of us who do have a space, maybe the issue is workflow. So, or let's say improve workflow. And how can we do that? Rearrange furniture. And basically, you're just brainstorming. So if you've ever been in a setting, professional or community meeting session, where there's a facilitator at the front of the room and the dreaded Flipchart thingamajig and the markers, where they throw a question out and people are just throwing ideas forward, and you're not supposed to judge or eliminate any of them, you just capture them. So essentially, this is an exercise you're doing yourself, and you're capturing things that may seem, impossible, far-fetched, off the wall, but it's a way to get them all down on paper. Okay, so improve workflow. So one way is to rearrange furniture. Another way could be to buy organizing system. And maybe and these are kind of action steps, but maybe one of the goals here too is to save steps. Are you walking across the room because because the room isn't laid out correctly? So improving workflow could also mean I just had a thought and it's gone. It could mean a deep clean. So maybe let's do another thing off to the side here, or create another bigger, a bigger thought, sort of. Okay, so we're talking about acquiring, we're talking about improving workflow. So, create more room. And again, this is just off the top of my head. I didn't know I was going to do this, so this is not exactly beautiful wordsmithing here. But one way to create more room is destash. And how do you destash? So if you have a thought that arises from a particular point, you do another little branch on this tree. So destashing could mean sell, or donate, or trash. Maybe it's Happy Mail, and so on. Okay, what else could we do in a studio space? Well, reorganize. Okay, so maybe under reorganize, we want to, our guiding principle will be like with like. So in other words, don't have your fabric in 16 different places. Keep all your fabric together. Keep all your ribbon together. Keep all your washi together. So maybe that also means create visibility. And how you do that? Maybe with clear storage. Maybe reorganizing needs to be a semi-annual. Or that could have been quarterly. Let's add that too. We don't want to lose that. Quarterly. So we don't know which one it is, but we've captured both thoughts. I'm just looking around here and thinking, oh yeah, I could be taking some of this advice. And maybe that's good enough just as a demonstration. And you can use a mind map with any issue, goal, problem, you know, to move or not to move. And I'm talking, you know, we forget this. We're talking about something totally different. You know, write a book, marry Joe, you know, like whatever. You can use this to pretty well work your mind through a decision-making process, or set out the small steps that will get you there. So I'm going to stop there. I hope this has been of some assistance to you. Certainly, if you Google mind maps, you will find that there are, you know, there's many styles out there as there are people using them. And it's like everything else, you know. Don't feel that you need to study this now for the next 6 weeks until you can finally do your own. Grab a piece of paper, and frankly, a blank piece of paper is better because then you don't have the distraction of, you know, lines or whatever. Grab yourself some, you know, pencil crayons or felts or whatever you have, and just try it out and see if you don't like the efficiency of it, and frankly, the potential beauty of it. That concludes what I have to say in this video. Maybe in the comments, just let me know if you knew about mind maps. Have you forgotten about mind maps? Do you use mind maps? Is it a tool that you'd be willing to give a shot to? I think it could really make a difference in your life. Anyway, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.